these are the top 10 most legendary Premier League strikers of all time. Now, if you saw my centre-back video, you know that despite the cannon on my chest, there's no bias involving these lists. I speak pure, indisputable facts. Word to Rafa Benitez.
And talking about facts.
So let's get straight into the criteria. Now, there's a lot of brazy strikers that have played in the last 20 years or whatever that I've been watching football. We watch the game with our eyes and not all these Microsoft Excel spreadsheets and SofaScore calculators and all them ones there. That being said, of course, leading your team to trophies is a vital part of being like a Hall of Fame Premier League striker, so we definitely factor that in, as well as your goals and assist stats. Longevity, of course, is important, your legacy, and then any other accolades you may have accumulated along the course of your career. So with that being said, let us begin. Now, this was very sticky for me. Yeah, number 10 was quite tough because I was weighing up between two names, and those two are going to be Van Persie and Vardy. Now, obviously, Van Persie, we know what he's on. Technically, he's clear. Probably one of the best finishers the Prem has ever seen. He's certainly, like, I would say top 5, arguably. Had 1.5 to 2 elite seasons at Arsenal before he jumped ship to them man over at Old Trafford. Bagged them a title pretty much with his bare hands. So you got to respect his thing. Obviously, he was injured for quite a while. But then you got Vardy. Like, yeah, he's not as technically sound as someone like Van Persie, but you cannot deny my man came through from Fleetwood Town to come and bag 100 goals plus, to come and bag Premier League, to come and bag FA Cup. Now, yes, it wasn't with his bare hands. Obviously, he had Mahrez, he had Kante as well in that outrageous title winning season. But still, this brother's in his mid-30s and he's still just bagging 15 goals a season, 15 goals. The brother won't stop. It's like he gets better the older he gets. But I think overall, if I have to pick one of them, I'll probably lean towards Van Persie. As crazy as Vardy's legacy is, it is sensational. I think Van Persie, just purely on ability, like that brother on his day was unplayable. So I'm gonna give number 10 to Robin Van Persie. As much as I hate my man, he's a snake, he's a rat. Alright, number 9, we're gonna have someone who, for the younger lot, might be a bit surprising, but for those that are around my age, or definitely guys that are older than me, you know this brother was on crud, and that guy is Michael Owen. The fact that my man got a Ballon d'Or says it all what you need to know about this kid. Obviously, yes, he had his injury problems when he came back from Madrid. Newcastle wasn't the best time for him. He got a bit lucky, I can't lie. Like, he scraped a Prem title because he was at United. But even still, he had those iconic goals. I think it was the header against Man City. He's done his thing at United as well. Just, he never really lived up to what people thought he'd be. But that being said, to bag like 150 goals in the Prem is no mean feat, especially when my man took a holiday in Spain for a few years. He is what you would describe as a pure finisher, like fox in the box. He wasn't all there for all the hold-up play and taking on 8 man and dribbling people and flicking over guys. Man just bags goals. You can tell in that video, yeah, where my man's bullying that kid, bro. There's like some 12-year-old kid and he's just smacking goals past him because all he knows is to just eat, sleep, goals and repeat, fam.
Get in there. Well done, he's 13.
At number 8, we have a man who I believe doesn't get enough love. And it's not an Arsenal player, so don't start thinking I'm mad biased. A man has over 400 games in the Prem, 187 goals. He's top 3 for goals, and my man just still sleep on him. And of course, that's going to be Andy Cole. True say, a lot of man will say that he was, you know, one half of a formidable partnership with Dwight York. But let's not forget, he was out here in the field for Kevin Keegan, firing Newcastle to like 3rd place in the league, which for them was pretty impressive. And then, of course, the year that United won the treble, he bagged the winning goal for the title as well. So, true say, like, I didn't get to see his prime, but the parts that I saw and then what I've seen in footage afterwards from the previous years is enough to say that this guy is at least deserving of number 8 on the list, if not higher. But again, I'm a bit young, so maybe that's why he's a bit lower down on my list. Alright, number 7. Here's where it starts to get a little bit controversial. When I said this list on stream, I had guys that were yelling either this guy should be up by 2, or he should be down by 2, or not even on the list at all. I think he's very, very polarizing for a number of reasons. Of course, Didier Drogba. Yes, okay, we get it. Like, Darren Bent has more goals than him. Yes, we get it. He rarely ever bags, you know, more than 15 goals a season. But as far as pure ability goes, on his day, the brother was unplayable. Now, it gets a little bit overstated that he was like the biggest big game player of all time. Like, I know, yeah, oh, Drogba against Bayern Munich. I know. I get that, and a lot of cup finals. But in the league, if he was such a massive game player, he would be getting the 20 goals a season that these other guys were getting. So that is why he can't go any higher on the list. But no doubt, as an Arsenal fan, that brother gave me a lot of sleepless nights. I hated the sight of my man. I love him as a footballer, but I hated the sight of my man. But yeah, just because the goal record, I can't lie, it's a bit too poor for me to allow him to be anywhere in the top 5, top 6. And you'll see from the names afterwards why he can't get in. And so in number 6, I have someone who I wouldn't take over Drogba in my team personally, but when you look at what my man achieved in that, it's hard to argue him being anywhere. He's one of those ones that, like, on the eye, it's not pleasing, but he does bag goals, and his name is Ruud van Nistelrooy. United fans do try and tell you that he was competing with Henry and blah blah blah, but like that was never the case. He literally got 1 golden boot, I think it was, in the year that Henry was giving away penalties to his teammates to let them have goals and blah blah blah. But nevertheless, he was bagging goals. Let me not be too biased. He was bagging goals. He got a Prem title as well. Martin Kieran rattled him. That's okay. Van Nistelrooy is gonna take our number 6 spot on the list. Right now, if you're older than me, I know number 5, man, are gonna start throwing tomatoes at me, but just hear me out on this one. Hear me out on this one, all right? Yes, he does have the most Premier League goals of all time. I understand. He does have a Prem title with Blackburn. I understand. Many goals for Newcastle, doing that one arm in the air celebration, like very generic, that man were copying all over Newcastle for years and years, running like that with the arm in the air. I get it. But I have to say, aside from being a lethal shooter, don't get me wrong, he scored some banging volleys, some long shots, couple finesses and that. Was he technically as sound as some of the names that are going to be above him? I don't know. Now, I'm not going to say he was a longevity merchant like Giggs was, because far from it. Like, he was still bagging goals year on year on year. But I just feel as though the names that are above him, when you get there, you'll see, like, it's kind of hard to say that Shearer was a better footballer than them. And not to bring up internationals or anything else, but, you know, it does kind of cloud your judgment. Why was my man doing nothing on the big stage? Do you know what I mean? Like, the other names were doing it everywhere. And we'll get onto that one right now. So, number 4, we have who I believe to be the best English footballer of all time. This guy here, if you know Rooney, you know, bro. There was that one year where my man shaved his head. He started wearing the yellow Total 90 boots with the black gloves on. Yeah, long. Out of nowhere, he downloaded some gene to score like 15 headers a season. That guy used to just hit left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And he woke up and said, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to start bagging headers now. Now, even the Rooney with the number 8 on his back, for me, that's the iconic one. Forget about the 10 or 9 or whatever. Number 8 Rooney, outrageous, bro. As a kid, he would be barking it off. Even against Arsenal, he terrorized. He gave me so many bad memories. And this is how you know that I'm not biased in this, bro. He was something outrageous. Champions League there, he was doing it. England, okay, didn't do it as much, but still was bagging goals. And of course in the Prem, he was spearheading a team that was winning titles, whether it will be with Tevez, with Ronaldo, with Berbatov, wherever it may be, he was there. To bag over 200 goals and be as iconic as he was, like, the streets will not forget Wayne Rooney Street Striker. That show alone is clear of anything Shearer ever did, bro. My man just put his hand in the air like that. And Rooney's there doing shows with Andy Ansah, doing unbelievable techers. Yeah, that's my brother right there, Wayne Rooney, fam. Get him in there at number 4. Into the top 3, we have our bronze medalist now. This is another one that you can argue could be higher, could be lower, based on whatever factors that you deem to be more important. But if we're going purely on ability, the only thing stopping him from being like, you know, number 2, or whatever, is the goal numbers. But he was never Arsenal's out-and-out striker. And that's, of course, Dennis Bergkamp. Probably the most technically gifted footballer we have seen in the league. Arguably ever. Arguably ever. Now, I wasn't watching Cantona and them man in the field, so please excuse me on that one. But from what I have seen, Dennis Bergkamp could do genuinely anything. It's just that he was more providing for Henry, and Henry was bagging goal after goal after goal. But you can see why everyone regards Bergkamp so highly. My man didn't want to fly, but when he did fly, he was still bagging goals and assists. So he's going to be our number 3. And so that leaves us with just 2. Now, like I said, I know there's a cannon on my chest, but I tried to be unbiased with these things, right? In the centre-back video, there was no Arsenal player in my top 2. Like, I'm not going to just try to force it. However, I think it's fair. Like, we do know Wagwan when it comes to the strikers. We have been kind of blessed. So, number 2, just missing out, is going to be Sergio Aguero. Outrageous goal record. We shall never forget 3-2 in the last minute against QPR. Any man that is getting, you know, 184 goals in like 274, 75 games is a nutter. It's a freak of nature. That's not a normal human being right there. From the very moment he arrived to the moment he left with his little blonde hair and that, he was a bagsman. Goal after goal. From the most acute of angles, he will find a way. Power shots, he will find a way. Little finesse things, he will find a way. Aggressive, pressing from the front, whatever you want, Aguero had it. Even you can put it back to Atleti days, he was a guy. The only thing I would say he didn't really have in the locker was like dribbling guys and taking them on, right? He wasn't really a pick up the ball, I don't know, 35 yards out, take on 2 man and whip it in or go past a few guys. Whereas the guy at number 1, you know what, Gwande, let's just move on to number 1, shall we? Because number 2, Aguero, congratulations. You deserve better, but unfortunately, nobody can chat to my man. The king, the best Premier League player of all time, Thierry Henry. I don't care about what shirt I'm wearing. If you disagree, please, you have to reevaluate the way in which you watch football. Because this guy, what didn't he have, bro? He had the goals, he had the trophies, he had the aesthetics, he had the legacy, the accolades. He got robbed of a Ballon d'Or. Nedved, we're still coming for you, by the way. We didn't forget, Nedved, we'll be back. Led my team to an Invincibles title, bro. What kind of freak of nature striker is so consistent that you don't even lose a game when my man is playing? That's outrageous. Now, some guys are going to say, oh, but big games, what about big games? Yeah, okay, he didn't bag against Barcelona, Champions League final, it happens. But that's not the Premier League. In the Prem, he was bagging. Look at his most iconic goals. United. Look at when they said, oh, he scores against small teams. When he bagged against Chelsea. Is that a small team? Liverpool? I've seen him pick Gerrard's pockets 15 times to go and bag. Cup finals, he didn't really get the numbers like that, but he most certainly turns up home and away, big game, small game. There's a reason why my man has as many goals as he does. And I don't know even what this guy's weakness was. Genuinely, I don't know what weakness he had. Because even you go and talk about headers. At the Emirates, 2007 against United, bang, like that, last minute. He had it all. There has never been a more complete striker in the Premier League than this brother right here. So that's going to be the end of my top 10. Hopefully you man enjoyed it. Again, this is not bias. You know it's a fact. I know it's a fact. But any others you disagree with in the 2 to 10 or whatever, let me know. Maybe I missed a few names out. I know Suarez had a nice season, but not long enough. Kane, win a trophy, mate. Or maybe break the goals record and I'll allow you as an anomaly to be in the list. But until then, hold tight at Spurs, yeah? And other than that, I'll catch you man in a bit.